Hi, this is John Barnes, and you're listening to Kop On.
We have in our hands the shining and the fire in our hearts of a star. Who are we that our tongues should palter, hearts bow down, hands falter, who are clothed as with flame from the altar, that the kings of the earth, repining, far off, watch from afar. 2 games in and Liverpool are already back on top of the league. The mentality monsters are back on top of the league, and Kop On podcast is back. Welcome, you purring links, to this episode. Those opening lines were from Algernon Charles Swinburne, The Halt Before Rome. You need to check out that poem, absolute beauty. And in this episode you'll hear from Fergus McFadden in Portugal, Marty Sikora in England, and first from Stephen Drennan, aka Babu Yagu, from the Rock Forum and at Babu Yagu on Twitter. Stephen has recently started a stat service with one of his friends called Craque Stats, CRAQUE Stats. Check him out, it's absolutely brilliant. And my first question was to Stephen, asking him if he could please tell us more.
Basically, it's myself and a Portuguese guy called Dan, and we met on Rock, which is like a forum for Liverpool fans, and we're both very, very interested in stats, and he had access to data and could sort of use it, and I could give him a hand with it, sort of applying the way I see the game to the data. So we ended up just working together. It's like a hobby, and it kind of developed from there. And then obviously I've started writing recently, so I'm using the stuff that we're doing writing, and now we've launched a Twitter account, and then we're hoping to maybe do a blog or a website, or we're not really sure where to go yet. We're just taking it one step at a time and seeing how it evolves. But yeah, it's going well.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've been following you, pretty closely, and I've got to say that it's really fascinating. So all of you listeners, you need to check out Craque Stats. So Liverpool played Southampton. Wow! Now it was yesterday from when we're recording this. It was a really good game of football. I thought it was harem scarum stuff. I did need a lie down after. When the teams came out, it was interesting. To see. We had our usual 4-3-3. We played Milner, Wijnaldum, and Chamberlain as the midfield 3, and then our front 3, our usual back 4 with Matip at the back. What did you think of that lineup, Marty, when you saw it? Were you thinking, the 3 points, here we come?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I did. I think we anticipated there'd be a lot of changes. I think there was obviously the Super Cup in midweek, obviously Istanbul, high temperatures, 120 minutes, penalties, etc. We anticipated changes, and I think it did highlight. I know there was some concern pre-season about the squad depth, but I think it showed obviously we dropped. Obviously Fabinho, Henderson, and obviously utilised the squad in midfield. Obviously the back four was relatively unchanged. And also we brought in Adrian, who's obviously who done a job for us on Wednesday night in place of Alisson. So it's going to be games, if we're going to play things like that in the FIFA Club World Cup in December, Champions League, the 2 domestic cups, Premier League. We're going to have changes where we have a team like that. Probably isn't our strongest 11, but it is still a very adequate one. And in the end, it got the job done. I think people that are moaning about, the team pre-game, they end up getting bitten every time because we moan, they moan, we win. So no issues from me. Like I said, acknowledge it's not our strongest 11, but strong enough to beat Southampton, and it done the job on the day, didn't it? So.
Well, that's a great answer, and you're absolutely right, because, that it's 11 games in a row now that we've won. So everybody who's moaned in the last 11 games has been wrong, because we have been absolutely, phenomenal in the league. And with City dropping their, 2 points and ending their winning run, I don't know. We're doing so well. That's 11 Premier League wins on the bounce. I mean, as I said, it equals our record, which was set in 13-14. And just in case you didn't know, the longest winning streak, Fergie, God, I struggle to get his name out there. Fergie ever had was 12 wins. And if you think of all the great, let's face it, the great Manchester United teams that he had, the best he ever managed was 12. So we have amassed also more points than Manchester City since the start of last season. I don't know. Things are looking really well. I think the league is ours this season, isn't it, Stephen? I mean, this is our year. We're finally going to do this.
Yeah, I have a very positive feeling about the team, but the problem always remains for me that I think we're facing like a Lance Armstrong team in the 90s, where it's a team that's going to amass 97 plus to 100 points every year, just because of how they're built. And the reason teams don't really amass that amount of points very rarely in the whole of sport is it's an exceptional thing to do. Like if you look at any sports teams in the world, the great teams, the like Chicago Bulls at their very best, they didn't win that amount of points like as a percentage of the total points they could win. This is a really ridiculous team. And the fact that we matched them last year makes it feel like it's possible to keep doing that, but it's very, very hard to do. I think people don't understand how impressive it is to get the 97 points, and they take it for granted that we did it once, therefore you can just do it again, like it's an easy thing. And then it's like, if you just sign another player, it'll just give you an extra 2 or 3 points. But just getting 97 points again would be a ridiculous accomplishment. And that's why no one's done it before until Manchester City and this team of Liverpool last year. It's a big achievement. So I don't want to think ahead of myself in terms of we'll win the league. I'm just trying to think about what could Liverpool do this year in terms of their own points, not really think about what anyone else is doing, because if City win like 36 games, you just, how do you compete with that? So I don't think about that, and I just think about what can this Liverpool team do. And if they can get to like 90 plus points again, that's like title winning levels. And then you just have to see what everyone else has done as well. But it'll be an interesting season. I think we're a very good team. It's probably the best Liverpool team I've ever seen in my lifetime. So I'm very, very confident.
It's hard to compare though with the different eras, but yes, I would agree. I think it's the best in terms of the athleticism. I mean, the guts and the determination. I mean, some of the old teams had very similar, but the athleticism and the technique. I mean, wow. The 87-88 was the best team I've ever seen for Liverpool, and I was just a young kid really, but I've since watched a million highlights and I think they were as good as I remember. But yeah, this team is certainly up there. But it was interesting when I was listening to the Anfield Wrap yesterday, because like you say, Stephen, I mean, normally 90 plus points would be up there, to challenge. But these are extraordinary times where you can get 97 points and not win the league. It's insane. It's so hard to comprehend. How are you feeling, Fergus, about all of our chances this season?
Well, I have to agree with Stephen there, because before the season started, obviously everyone, a lot of people want to make their predictions, and I think it's going to be very hard to overcome City this season just because of how good they are. So, I think we just have to take every game as it comes, try to beat every team in front of us, and amass as many points as we can, because City is a machine. City have got a much stronger squad than us. I think that other teams will try to counteract Liverpool tactics this year. They'll have had a season watching us last year watching how we beat teams, and they'll have tactics to try to overcome us this season. So we'll have other obstacles. So whether we get to 97 points or not is a question, if we can overcome the obstacles teams put in front of us. But likewise, teams will have found other ways of beating Man City as well. They'll have watched them last season and the season before and try to overcome their tactics. So it's another season. It's a new season. I don't think we'll win the league, but that's me just being, I can say, objective or to be realistic, because I think this is a really difficult season for us to team for us to overcome in Man City. But I think we'll give it a very good shot and we'll be in the top two.